Hi everyone, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us today. On behalf of BM Infotrade, I'd like to welcome you all in today's webinar. I'm Anushka Mathur and I'll be your host for today's session. We are really glad to have you here with us. Today, we are going to talk about something that's extremely important for every organization: cloud security and data protection. As businesses move more of their operations to the cloud, ensuring security and having strong backup and recovery strategy is no longer optional, it's critical. And that's exactly what today's session is focused on. Before we begin, let me quickly walk you through what we'll be covering today. We'll start with understanding threat protection and how tools like Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Defender, and Microsoft 365 Security help organizations stay protected. Then we'll move on to the cloud backup and disaster recovery and how platforms like Azure and AWS help ensure business continuity. We'll also touch upon practical approaches and best practices that organizations can adopt. And finally, we'll have a Q&A session at the very end where you can ask your questions. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat anytime during the session. Moving on, we are joined by Mr. Lokesh Sharma, who is a senior cloud engineer, and along with him, we have Ms. Manasvi Mathur, who is Microsoft CSP expert. With that, I'd like to invite Manasvi Mathur to take the session forward. Over to you, Manasvi.
Thank you, Anushka. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session on Microsoft Threat Protection for small and medium enterprises. Before we begin, let me ask you something. What would happen if one day your entire system gets logged and someone asks you to pay to get your own data back? This is not rare anymore. This is the reality many businesses are facing today. So today we'll understand what threats exist and how attackers actually work and how Microsoft helps you to protect your organization. So today's agenda will be first the key security challenges and businesses, what are the day-to-day challenges they're facing, and small and mid-market enterprises are quite trending. Then how Microsoft Security helps solve these challenges. We'll look at real-world attack scenarios and finally a quick recap. By the end, you will hear a clear and practical understanding of modern security. So, so nowadays, top four trends in the threat landscape are like technical debt is the greatest source of exposure and growing risk of data breach and attacks are increasing. So let's start with the current threat landscape. First, companies are facing staff shortages, meaning fewer people managing security. Second, attacks are becoming more complex and advanced. Third, ransomware attacks are increasing rapidly. And fourth, outdated systems, what we call technical debt, are creating vulnerabilities. So, overall, attacks are getting stronger, but defenses are struggling to keep up. So, mid-market insights. This slide highlights something very important. Almost 46% of cyber attacks target small and medium businesses. Why? Because attackers assume security is weaker, teams are smaller, and monitoring is limited. Also, one in five incidents happen due to insiders. And users fall for phishing emails in less than 60 seconds. That means one small mistake can lead to a big breach. Cyber threats have grown significantly in three ways. Speed, attackers can access sensitive data in about 1 hour after phishing, and sophistication, hundreds of organized threats groups are active. Scale, thousands of password attacks happen every second. So attacks today are fast, smart, and happening at massive scale. So, on a global level, there are millions of attacks happening daily. Cybercrime costs are reaching trillions of dollars. Even nation state actors are involved. So, this is no longer just hacking, this is organized cyber warfare. Nowadays, attackers are leveraging AI. They can generate malware automatically, create realistic phishing emails, crack password faster, even create deepfake voices or messages. So, traditional detection methods are no longer enough. We need smarter AI based defense. Now, attackers, let's just assume attackers in graph. Let me simplify this entire diagram. This is how a typical attack happens. Phishing email is sent, user clicks a link or file, system gets infected, and then attackers gain control, moves across system, and then steals data and launches the ransomware. It's a chain reaction. If not stopped early, it spreads quickly across the organization. Security teams today face major challenges. Attacks happen in minutes, not days. Security tools are disconnected. Teams don't have enough time or resources. So even if alerts are generated, they're often too late or too many to handle. So this is a real attack case study. Let me just simplify it. Attacker logs in, changes MFA settings, and accesses company data and moves across systems. But Microsoft Defender detected this activity automatically and disabled the user and stopped the attack. This shows the power of real time detection and response. So, now how does Microsoft solve this? Using XDR, extended detection and response, simply meaning one unified system that protects email, devices, identity, and data. Instead of multiple disconnected tools, everything works together. Automatic attack disruption. This is one of the most powerful features. Microsoft can automatically stop attacks in progress, block user, contain device, and stop attacker movement. And ransomware can be stopped in about 3 minutes. That's incredibly fast. Automatic attack disruption, what it does detect and what we disrupt. So, this system uses AI to detect unusual behavior, identity threats early, and take in action automatically. So, you don't have to rely only on manual monitoring. These are the supported scenarios and actions day to day. Microsoft can take actions like disable compromised users, block suspicious IPs, stop malicious apps, contain infected devices, which can happen all automatically in real time. So now these are the advanced email attack which we are talking about. Email attacks today are very advanced. They look normal and have no obvious malicious link and which are also personalized to organization to it just depends. However, Microsoft uses AI to detect intent, not just links. It uses LLM based business email compromise detection, which can prevent attacker intent detection and it filters the emails accordingly. Teams attack. Attackers now use platforms like Teams. They pretend to be IT support, trusted contacts, or Microsoft protects messages, links, files, and alerts. Use it about suspicious activity. However, full protection is provided in Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 protects users against phishing and other social engineering threats while providing SOC team visibility into alerts and remediations. Microsoft Defender for Office. The solutions provide complete protection for email, Teams, collaboration tools. It also helps to prevent attacks, detect threats, and respond quickly, all in one platform. It has a comprehensive protection for your organization across productivity, collaboration, and uh, and preventive tools against advanced attacks. Identity protection. Identity is the most critical layer. If attackers get login access, they don't need to hack anything else. Microsoft detects risky logins, blocks suspicious access, applies smart policies. Protecting your identity protects everything. Even Microsoft Defender includes a Microsoft Intra ID protection, which uses advanced machine learning and threat protection to block identity attacks in real time. It receives, and even if an IT person receives an automatic email notification alerting, which are detected like risk compromised or any account which is compromised also. Protecting identities. Even the Microsoft ITDR provides tailored recommendations which highlights misconfiguration of potential gaps across to improve posture across both cloud and on-premises. It provides access controls dynamically enforce risk-based conditional access policies. It provides powerful detections also, which with XDR alerts and intelligent automation delivery. For the ransomware scenario, this shows a ransomware attack in which files are encrypted, business operations stop, payment is demanded. Without protection and recovery becomes very difficult. With Defender suite, employee devices are protected with Microsoft Defender for Endpoint P2, which provides multi-layered ransomware protection to thwart attacks before they occur. Endpoint detection response with AI-powered automatic attack disruptions helps defend against manual and targeted attacks and stop them from moving through the network. Protecting the endpoints. So Microsoft Defender protects laptop servers, mobile devices. It detects threats early and stops them before damage. It has the capability to cover all types of devices. It doesn't matter if it is company owned or it is your own device. It is backed by global intelligence, proven with MITRE attack and attack results. It has built-in AI and automation which help identify vulnerabilities and threats while enabling rapid response. अरे मेरे को गर्मी लगी उधर वाली है मेरी सीट पे मेरे को अच्छा फील यहाँ बैठ जाओ आशु अरे आशु मैं भी कोई होल्ड कर सकता है क्या हाँ नहीं बैठेंगे A centralized management experience breaks down silos and eliminates friction between security and IT teams. Protecting against advanced attacks like ransomware, prevent, detect, and respond to ransomware at machine speed. So Microsoft Security first prevent and defend against ransomware with tailored configuration guidance and cross-domain security controls, and then detect attacks in real time and stop their progression with automatic attack disruption. And at the last, it respond quickly, fully with a unified investigation and remediation experience. So why choose Microsoft Defender? Because it provides strong layered security, cost effective, and industry recognized leader and scalable as your business grows. It has enhanced security, which can start with strong layered security at your pace, focusing on current need with option to upgrade to Microsoft 365 E5 later. It is you can save more compared to standalone licenses or a full Microsoft 365 E5 subscription will be better. It is also a leading security vendor for businesses by independent industry experts. So Microsoft Defender's suite E5 security has enhanced identity protection, device security, email protection, and cloud app security, all integrated solution. So Microsoft provides reduced risk of breaches, faster response time, and increased productivity, which can lead to significant cost savings. So organization using Microsoft security has seen more reduced investigation time, improved response speed, and lower risk of breaches, and simplified security management. So this is the study findings which you can see. Even a vendor license cost consolidation saves 1.6 million annually, an improvement to threat investigation and response, which got a 65% reduction in the time needed to investigate threats and then reduces time to respond to threats accordingly. So thank you for the security immersion briefing. Any questions? Okay. If no questions are there, let me proceed with another topic, which is equally important part of today's session. Cloud backup and disaster recovery. Let me ask you something. If your entire data is lost today, how quickly can your business recover? Because in today's world, data is not just information, data is your business, and protecting it is critical. So, in today's digital first world, everything depends on data, customer information, financial records, emails and communication, business applications. But with this importance comes with risk. Your data can be affected by cyber attacks, hardware failures, human mistakes, natural disasters. And all it takes is just one incident to lose years of work in minutes. That's why we need backup and disaster recovery. Let's understand the scale of the problem. Data is growing massively, expected to reach huge volumes globally. Ransomware attacks have increased by 600%, and downtime can cost around $9,000 per minute. Think about that. Even 1 hour of downtime can cost lakhs of rupees. But the impact is not just financial, loss of customer trust, business destruction, compliance issues. So the real question is, can your business survive a major data loss? So let's understand the cloud as solution and how do we solve this problem? The answer is cloud backup and disaster recovery. Let's simplify. Cloud backup means your data is safely stored in cloud, accessible anytime, anywhere. Disaster recovery means if your system fails, you can quickly switch to a backup system. It's like having a duplicate of your entire business, ready to run anytime. So the key benefits of cloud solutions which we provide are scalability, which grows with your data, security, encrypted and protected, cost efficiency, no need for expensive hardware, and global access, recover from anywhere. And most importantly, faster recovery. So let's talk about AWS disaster recovery. AWS provide continuous data replications, which means your data is constantly updated. If something fails, failover happens in minutes. Data loss is almost zero. Think of it like a live mirror of your system running in the cloud. So, how AWS benefits your infrastructure? Data is replicated every few seconds. Recovery can happen in minutes. It does ensure high availability. So, instead of hours or days, you recover in minutes, which reduces both cost and complexity. Even there is no need of secondary data center. You do not need to pay for any extra infrastructure deployment. You just pay for what you use. It is also easy to manage and scales your business accordingly. So now let's look at Azure. Azure provides unified backup for cloud, on-premises, and hybrid environments. It provides automated backup policies, which is easy for recovery. Everything managed from one place. So Azure Site Recovery ensures continuous replication, automated failover. Most importantly, it recovery happens in correct sequence. So your application don't just restart, they restart properly, which is also cost optimized, enterprise secure, and flexibly replicated. Now, here's a very important point. Microsoft 365 is not just a backup solution. Many people think my data is already in the cloud, so it's safe. But that's not fully true. If data is deleted, files are corrupted, ransomware attacks are there, and you still need backup. So you must protect emails, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams. And why M365 backup is needed? Microsoft follows a shared responsibility model. Microsoft protects the platform. You are responsible for your own data. So without backup, you risk permanent data loss. Let's look at real world impact. Organizations achieved up to 78% of cost reduction, recovery time reduced to minutes, avoided major financial losses. For example, a company reduced downtime from 48 hours to under 20 minutes. That's the power of cloud DR. For the final message, I will leave you with one important thought. It's not about preventing every failure, it's about recovering fast when failure happens because attacks will happen, systems will fail, but your businesses should not stop. So the real question is, do you have a recovery plan or are you hoping nothing goes wrong? Because in today's world, hope is not a strategy, preparation is. So thank you everyone for your time. I hope this session helped you out, helped you to understand why backup is critical and how cloud disaster recovery protects your business. And now I would be happy to take any questions.
All right. With that, we come to end of today's session. We covered some really important areas today, from threat protection to using tools like Intune, Defender, Microsoft 365, to cloud backup and disaster recovery strategies on Azure and AWS. These are critical for ensuring that your business stays secure, resilient, and always up and running. I'd like to thank each one of you for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate your participation and hope you find the session helpful. If you'd like to explore how these solutions can be implemented in your organization, or if you'd like to connect with our team for further discussion, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help. Thank you once again for joining. Have a great day ahead. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you.